Here, this is another thing that you have to read in your Hele. All right, let's have a Unit 3, Growing Ornamental Plants for the Home and Community. So the Philippines is an agricultural country. It is rich in land, water, minerals, and other natural resources. Other than fishing, planting is one of the major livelihoods of many Filipinos across the archipelago. Did you know that the word agriculture is a science that deals with plant and animal production? Being a science, it is involved in the effectivity and orderly management not only of animals but of different crops and plants as well. The branches of agriculture that relate to crop and plant production are horticulture. Okay, horticulture, bigger, remember that word? Which is the science of cultivating and growing ornamental plants like flowers and fruits. Okay, so you already have the horticulture. Next is agronomy. Agronomy is the science of managing soil for better plant production. Okay, so there's horticulture and agronomy. Okay, and forestry, which is the science of managing and conserving trees and fruit trees. All right, beginners. So horticulture, cultivating and growing ornamental. Ornamental yan, bigger because there's the word O. Horti, ornamental. So it means hindi siya mga flowers lang siya. And then agronomy is managing soil. Soil na bigger And forestry, remember forestry is tree. May mga tree, forestry, and fruit trees. Okay? So there's three. Horticulture, agronomy, and forestry. Okay? Remember that bigger it will come out in your test na naman. Okay? These units will touch on these three branches of agriculture as it will present you with topics on crops and plant raising. Then ako on towels, make it bigger. Right, so it's gonna be better on your eyes. Give me a few seconds, we'll adjust it. Okay. Alright, Lesson 7, Introduction to Plant Raising. Lesson 8, Preparing for Ornamental Gardening. Lesson 9 is Planting Activities in Ornamental Gardening. And Lesson 10 is Propagating Ornamental Plants. Alright, Introduction, Lesson 7, Plant Raising. Okay, so let's get started. Plant raising, whether it is planting vegetables, ornamentals, or fruit trees, it is an activity that can be both a livelihood and a hobby. Okay, many people, young and old alike, are engaged in plant raising. Some in ornamental gardening, others in vegetable raising, and others in raising fruit trees and fruit trees. Okay, plant raising is easy to understand. You are going to raise a plant. Lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Number 1 is cite the importance of plant raising to man, animals, and the environment. Number 2 is cite some laws, local ordinances, and agencies involved in planting and plant raising. And number 3 is analyze the success stories of some plant raisers and their personal qualities. Okay, so read and learn. Here we go. Importance of plant raising to man, animals, and the environment. The importance of plant raising is seen in terms of the benefits that can be derived from raising ornamentals, vegetables, and fruit trees. Specifically, raising plants gives the following benefits. These are the benefits of raising plants. Okay? So let's start with number 1. Benefits to man and family. Raising plants can serve as a means of livelihood. You can sell plant products from plant grown, which can then become a source of income for individual and the family. So when you have your own plant or you have your own products from that plant. You can also sell that, which is an extra income, or some people will make that as their business. Raising plants can be a hobby. It is good. It is a good pastime for those who have the time to find enjoyment in planting. So do you see there's a lot of people that are having a garden in their houses or they're inside their house because they just want to have plants. Like Lula, Mama Lo. Remember Mama Lo before? I don't know if you still have plants there, but before the house in Rojas in Domolog was renovated, she has a lot of plants. Whether it is raising decorative plants or vegetables. Owa is also a lot. She also loves plants. Okay, if it frees one from stress and problems of daily living. Okay, so it's their hobby. One is happier and more comfortable when he or she is free from anxiety. So they feel like they're happy when they have plants all around them. That's why they raise or they plant trees or plants. Some plants have medicinal value, especially herbs. Planting medicinal plants provides immediate cure or first aid to common illnesses like common colds, fever, and coughs. Freshly harvested produce gives more nutrients, hence better nutrition for the family. Like malunggay, bigger is si malunggay. Yeah, the vegetable malunggay, you have malunggay there at the house. So you can plant that. You can plant tomatoes. You can plant vegetables in your garden. So if the fresher, the better. So if you plant it in your own yard or your own garden, and then you want to eat it, or you want to use that to cook, so you can just harvest it and it's fresh and it's safe because there are no chemicals used if you plant your own. Next is benefits to animals. The presence of plants, especially trees and fruit trees, gives shade. Shade. It gives fruits and other products that are used by animals. Remember, the animals, especially in the wild, they don't depend on their owners. So they just go there and then it's survival. So with the help of these plants or trees that you plant or that are there on the forest or in the garden, these animals can survive. Okay, because of the shade, because of the fruits and other products that they use. It gives the animals comfortable surroundings, fresh air, and you know that okay, later we'll discuss that. Fresh air, fresh water, and fresh food because of these fresh products of these plants. Benefits to the environment. The roots and of the fruit, the roots of trees and fruit trees can hold water underground. Very important in Ibigara. You see there's roots in those trees and fruit trees. So it can hold water underground, thus preventing floods and soil erosion. That's why right now, there's a lot of floods now because they're cutting trees. So these trees, these fruit trees, are very important because once there's heavy rain and then they absorb the water, that avoids flood. Okay, because the roots absorb more water, so it helps avoid flooding. Trees and fruit trees take in carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. Very important also, Remember, the trees and fruit trees, they take in carbon dioxide. And what is carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is what we exhale. That's bad for our body. So we have to call the respiration process wherein we inhale oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. But these trees and fruit trees, they take carbon dioxide, which is our dirty part, which means that they use our waste product, but they also give out or give off oxygen. So these plants gives off oxygen, and that's the air that we breathe. Okay, so man takes in oxygen and gives off carbon dioxide, providing balance of life for both. So give and take siya bigger. So they give out oxygen and we inhale oxygen. That's why we need to have more plants around us to have more oxygen. Okay, it reduces pollution in the surroundings because pollution usually it's more on carbon dioxide. Okay, so they take in carbon dioxide, so they absorb the dirty part, and then they give us the clean part, which is what we need, which is oxygen. Okay, thus cleaning the air of toxins that may cause illness to man. Okay, the surroundings are beautified when trees or fruit trees are planted. So it's like it decorates because it helps beautify. It also adds green and other colors from the leaves, flowers, and fruit of the trees. So giving color is also good and soothing for the eyes. It contributes to the economic growth of the community as families engaged in planting can gain additional income from it. So it gives business and makes people earn money. So we have the laws and local ordinances and agencies involved in agriculture. So what are the laws, Bigger? We have the laws here. I think you have to listen and you have to learn this. Organic Agricultural Act of 2010. This is also known as Republic Act 168. This law, you remember that, Bigger? Okay, so Organic Agricultural Act 2010 is RA, or Republic Act, RA 168. Okay, remember this. This law is considered as the important law that promotes organic agriculture in our country. Organic agriculture is considered a sound, practical, and viable practice in planting, okay, and producing more crops and other related plants. Let me move this one here. Okay, it is its use is beneficial in making the soil more fertile. So which fertile means it's very, very conducive for planting. It's very, very potent effect. When you plant, if it is fertile, the plants will grow immediately. Okay? Producing more crops, reducing pollution, preventing the destruction of the environment, and warding off the depletion of natural resources. Okay, so it's really, really beneficial to the environment. The Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Product Standards under the Department of Agriculture grants accreditation to organic groups and registration of organic foods. So the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Product Standards, it's a branch of they credit, okay, groups, especially if they have organic products. Okay, so they call this the RDE. The RDE, okay? So what is RDE? Research, Development, Extension, okay? As well as incentives for group involved in organic farming. So they give extra bonuses or incentives to groups that are involved in organic farming, which means they do not use chemicals. They use only natural resources to make sure they make fertilizers. Fertilizers is used to make the plants grow. So, Bigger, in Classic, we have products like that. We also do organic farming in Classic. Remember? Remember that when I was there, I promoted a lot of organic products. Ecological Solid Waste Management Act. So here another thing to remember, Bigger. So this is known as a Republic Act, or RA 903 or 9003. Okay? Remember, Bigger, Ecological Solid Waste Management Act is RA 9003. It lays down the policies, mechanisms, and mandates to all government units from municipalities to barangays to reduce their waste by 25%. So how do you reduce your waste to 25%? Okay, it's through its 3 R's. These are our 3 R's. What is the first R? Reduce. Second R is reuse, and the third R is recycle. So the 3 R's, Bigger, what are the 3 R's? Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Every barangay shall segregate and collect solid wastes, classifying them into biodegradable, compostable, and reusable. So that's what we call reduce, reuse, and recycle. Biodegradable, compostable, and reusable. Okay? So that's are the three. Department of Trade and Industry. Okay, this department is in charge. This is the DTI, the Department of Trade and Industry. This department is in charge of protecting the welfare of consumers, their rights, and their interests. It assists the Department of Agriculture in boosting our national trade and security, that so that consumers all shall be assured of good quality products and services. So the TI is the ones regulating, okay, the quality of the products, if they're good or not, and the services. Okay, Department of Labor and Employment, or the DOLE. That's what they call the DOLE, bigger Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE, or DOLE. Okay, this is the department that is in charge of labor policies and regulations. It is also responsible for the promotion of economic and social welfare of employees. So when you say, baby, labor is when people are offering their services, or they are called workers. Okay, employment is when you are working to a person, you're employed. Okay, employment is is when a person is working for another person or for another company. While labor is your skills, or you're doing effort, or you're working, the process of working. Okay, labor. Okay, so you remember that word. Okay, so it is responsible for promotion and economic social welfare of the employees through its attached agencies, such as the National Conciliation and Mediation Board. So there's another agency here, National Conciliation and Mediation Board, which is responsible for settling labor disputes. So this one bigger, the National Conciliation and Mediation Board is when there's a lot of problems when there are jobs. So people complain. So once they complain about, their work, they have to write letters or complaints. So this National Conciliation and Mediation Board is responsible to settle this labor disputes. Let's say, for example, like they didn't pay their people or their workers properly. So this workers will write a letter or a complaint, and then this National Conciliation and Mediation Board will be there to process everything. The Professional Regulation Commission, or the PRC, which is responsible for assuring the readiness of our professionals in terms of knowledge and skills in their respective areas of expertise. So MAMIN has a PRC, or the Philippine Professional Regulation Commission. In order to be a professional like your nurse, you have to take an exam, and then you have to have your board exam license. So that's what the PRC, or the Professional Regulation Commission, is in charge of. Okay, so it prepares it gives licenses. Say, and the Occupation Health and Safety Commission, or OHSC, Occupation Health and Safety Commission, which provides training and technical services related to health and safety of all workers. So Occupational Health and Safety Commission. So when you say they give trainings to workers, okay? So Food and Agricultural Organization, of FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization. This international organization works with different governments to ensure that, for example, water use in agriculture is made more efficient and sustainable. Sustainable. This specialized agency of the United Nations. So remember, bigger, the FAO, or the Food and Agricultural Organization, is under the United Nations. Okay, the UN, or the United Nations. Okay, this specialized agency of the UN aims to defeat hunger by achieving food security and making sure that people have access to high quality food. Its mission is to create a world free from hunger and poverty. I'm sure it's gonna be it will be part of your exam. They will ask you about this bigger. You have to listen. You have to remember this. Okay. So again, we have a lot of things to remember here. Okay. So the benefits of planting or raising plants. Okay, plant raising benefits to the man and family. Of course, it benefits to animals, benefits to the environment. Okay, and then we have the local ordinances, laws, and agencies. So we have the Organic Agricultural Act of 2010, which is the RA 168 or 10068. We also have here, okay, the Ecological Solid Waste Management, which is the Republic Act 9003. Okay, and then you see that bigger. Remember that. What are the three R's? Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, so we have this law about the organic law, which is the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries product standards. They're also under the Department of Agriculture. Department of Agriculture is also known as the DA, Department of Agriculture. Okay, and then here, this the reduce, reuse, and recycle. Every barangay needs to reduce their waste 25% by doing the reduce, reuse, recycle, and they have to classify, okay, their their trash or solid waste into biodegradable, compostable, or reusable. Okay, and then we have the DTI, or the Department of Trade and Industry. We have the we have the Department of Labor and Employment. We have the National Conciliation and Mediation Board, which is the one who disputes labor problems, settling labor disputes. And we have the Professional Regulation Commission, or the PRC. They're the ones assuring the readiness of our professionals in terms of knowledge and skills. So they give out exams, and then they give licenses to make sure you call a professional. Okay, and we have the Food Agricultural Organization, which is under the United Nations, or the UN. Okay, remember, bigger, you have United Nations Day, wherein you wear a lot of costumes about different countries. So the UN is a group, an organization of different countries. They merge in order to make the world peaceful, and they make laws. They make peace treaties. They make peace in order for these member countries to help one another to make the world better. So that's the United Nations. So the purpose of the FAO is to help, or to make sure, or the purpose of the United Nations, why it made the FAO, is to make sure that the world will not get hungry. Okay, so they assure that people have access to high quality food and to avoid hunger and poverty. All right, so this is for now, bigger. I hope you listen, and I hope you learn from this. Thank you. Love you.